In the headlines, police kill one, arrest 6 others armed bandits in Zurmi, Gusau local government area of Zamfara state. Federal government implements no work, no pay plan policy against striking resident doctors. Private schools to reduce activities to cut costs over subsidy removal. And on the foreign scene, dozens evacuated as widespread spreads on Spain-France border. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Update at this hour. I'm Aisha Salihu. Many thanks for joining us. We begin with security matters, where the police in Zamfara state have repelled an armed bandits attack, killing one and leaving many others with gunshot wounds in Zurmi local government area of Zamfara state. The command's police public relations officer, ASP Yazid Abubakar, disclosed this while briefing journalists in Gusau on the successes the command has achieved in the last few months in its ongoing efforts to curb banditry and other crimes in Zamfara state. Now let's take a look at the report.
The public relations officer of the Zamfara State Police Command, Yazid Abubakar, who addressed newsmen on behalf of the Commissioner of Police, CP Muhammad Bunu, said police tactical operatives attached to 34 Police Mobile Force PMF Hombe deployed to Magaria area in Zurmi local government area of the state acted on information that 5 armed bandits were planning to attack Muslim worshippers during Jumat prayer at Kwata village in Magaria district of Zurmi local government area. Upon receiving the information, the police operatives mobilized to the area and confronted the armed bandits and engaged them in a gun battle that lasted for an hour. The police succeeded in killing 1 armed bandit while several others escaped into the bush with gunshot wounds.
One of the bandits was neutralized while others escaped to the bush, spraying bullets on the path. And the above-mentioned exhibits were recorded from them, were recovered from them. Effort is still on to arrest and prosecute the others.
He also informed journalists that the police nabbed a suspected kidnapper and terrorist informant. According to him, the kidnapper in question has been attacking innocent residents in the Saminaka area of Gusau metropolis. The police spokesperson further revealed that police operatives arrested 4 motorcycle snatchers and receivers of stolen goods at different places in the Gusau metropolis where they had confessed to the crimes.
During the interrogation, the suspect confessed that she has been working with bandit kingpin Dankarami Boska as his informant and tasked her to monitor policemen at Zurmi division so as to attack the division. The suspect has been investigated and charged to court for prosecution.
The police recovered 2 AK-47 rifles, 4 rounds of 7.62 mm live ammunition, 1 Bajaj motorcycle, 2 Techno handsets containing terrorist GM numbers, 2 vehicles, a red-colored Golf with registration number GWA532BS and black Citroen car with registration number MKA97DH, among others.
Meanwhile, troops of the Joint Task Force in Northwest Operation Hadarin Daji have foiled terrorist attacks and left many of the armed bandits with gunshot wounds in Isa local government area of Sokoto state. According to military sources, Operation Hadarin Daji covering Sokoto, Katsina, Kebbi and Zamfara states have continued to record more successes in the ongoing clearance operation as more armed bandits have been neutralized, kidnapped victims rescued, stolen items recovered and bandits' hideouts destroyed in the northwest. Reports say armed bandits on Thursday attempted to infiltrate and attack Isa local government area of Sokoto state, but troops deployed at Forward Operation Base Isa responded swiftly and repelled the attack with superior firepower, which forced the armed bandits to flee with gunshot wounds as traces of blood stains were seen in their routes during pursuit. Similarly, troops of Team 8 of Sector 3 Operation Hadarin Daji deployed at Sabon Birni in Sokoto State during a clearance operations discovered and destroyed armed bandits' hideouts at Kasabuni Forest, Tafkin Gawo, Alumdawa, Ungwaru Melele, and Malamawa villages in Sokoto State. A reliable source said the armed bandits, however, fled and abandoned their hideouts before the arrival of the troops. Items recovered from them included 3 motorcycles, 3 AK-47 magazines and ammunition, varieties of pairs of both military and foreign camouflage uniforms, including a police uniform and a radio. Still in security, bandits have killed a villager and abducted 7 others at Ungowar Gajere community in Kutameshi ward of Birnin Gwari local government area of Kaduna State. The victims, 2 males and 5 females, were attacked while working on their farms, according to local sources. The member representing Kakangi constituency in the State House of Assembly, Yahya Musa, confirmed the incident, saying the bandits also carted away animals in other neighboring communities. Musa, who described the situation as worrisome, consoled the families of the victims. The police command is yet to issue a statement on the incident. Now moving on to Lagos State, the police in the state have paraded 39 suspects involved in criminal activities like criminal conspiracy, armed robbery, unlawful possession of firearms, and bridge vandalization in the state. Police Commissioner in the state, Idowu Owohunwa, also launched Operation Flush to rid the state of criminals. Victoria Tokolo, who was there, brings us more in this report. Let's take a look.
The Commissioner of Police, Idowu Owohunwa, summoned all area commanders, DPOs and other divisional heads and gave them marching orders to arrest any criminal and curb violent crimes in the state. The police boss also said 39 suspects, including a 47-year-old woman from Oyo State who makes a living through diverting people's goods from containers at port, was arrested. 2 other suspects have also been arrested for involvement in bridge vandalism in the state. Items recovered from the suspects are 4 Toyota vehicles, 3 cars and 1 jeep, bridge drilling irons, foreign currencies, among others.
Commissioner of Police is assuring Lagosians again and again that we have a listening ear. The moment people have the confidence or develop the confidence to report cases to us, we would respond accordingly. We got information about robberies at Orile during bus stop, and that made the CP go there personally. We got reports of petty crime around 1004 estates. And if you ask the residents of 1004 estates, if you know anyone, they ask, and they will tell you that the CP was there personally yesterday. So he's a commissioner of police who has a listening ear, who is dedicated to duty. So we're calling on Lagosians to keep on giving us information so that we can do the needful, and together with the continuous support of members of the public and other stakeholders, we'll be able to make Lagos State remain on that highly coveted small list of safest states in the country.
One of the suspects, Adiniro Jeremiah, who is a commercial driver, confessed to robbing passengers at night, disposing them of their bags and phones.
I picked up on Friday night along Ijegu Road. I saw her inside the shop, and instantly she recognized me because I was not with a nose mask. And she was like, it's the one, it's the one, it's the one. That was how I was arrested and taken to Ikotun police station. Commissioner of Police Lagos State, Idowu, urged residents to be alert when using cabs not to fall victims of armed robbery, especially at night.
And now, away from security matters, the Federal Ministry of Health has commenced a no-work, no-pay policy against members of the Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors who are on a nationwide indefinite strike. This was contained in a letter dated 1st August 2023 and signed by the Director of Hospital Services, Andrew Noah, and addressed to Chief Medical Directors and Medical Directors of Federal Tertiary Hospitals. The letter directed the Chief Medical Directors and Medical Directors to maintain an attendance register of all residents willing to work and furnish the ministry of such names on a monthly basis. The letter said various conciliatory meetings by the Federal Ministry of Health, Federal Ministry of Labor and Employment with government stakeholders, Secretary to the Government of the Federation and the National Assembly has proved abortive in getting NARD to call off their indefinite strike action. NARD had embarked on an indefinite strike on July 26th following the failure of the federal government to meet its demands. And now to business. Artisans in Bauchi State have decried the dearth of menial jobs due to the prevailing economic situation in the country. They spoke in Misau local government area of the state following the rise in cost of living occasioned by the fuel price hike. Trust TV's Adamo Imam completes the report.
As the rising cost of living continues to bite harder, some youths in Misau local government area have resorted to going out every morning in search of menial jobs to earn a living. According to them, they said jobs were easy to come by have suddenly become very rare. They appeal to governments at all levels to do the needful in order to alleviate their sufferings. I reside at Mangari community here in Misau. We usually go out to look for menial jobs because after finishing school, we are jobless. If we remain at home, we will be labeled thieves. So we decided to come to the main road and scout for jobs. Despite the economic hardship, we are still waiting for somebody to hire us as laborers to work for the day. Since we came out in the morning, we have not been able to convey any passenger. How can we survive like this? We can only pray and beg our leaders to come up with measures to address the present situation. If not, we are all doomed. Everyone you see here has one business or the other, but because we can no longer sustain them, that is why we resort to doing Okada. Malam Mohammed, 52, also shared his current experience as a result of the economic challenges. I'm a butcher in this town. I used to slaughter 15 to 20 animals before, but now things have changed to the extent that I am struggling to feed myself, 2 wives and 15 children. We are begging the authorities to end the hardship we are facing. Although the government at the center as well as state governors have promised to roll out palliatives to reduce the current hardship, many here want the rollout hastened. Adami Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
And still in line with the effects of the removal of fuel subsidy, the National Association of Proprietors of Private Schools has disclosed that they have concluded plans to reduce school activities that are not directly necessary to cut costs. The national president of NAPPS, Abayomi Otubela, who stated this in Abuja, said, considering the hardship in the country caused by the fuel subsidy removal, schools would ensure only core curricular activities are focused on. The president also noted that an increase in fees is inevitable in order to ensure that schools do not run at a loss. And now to health matters. The National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control on Saturday confiscated expired and unregistered products worth more than 15 million naira in Niger State. The director, North Central Zone of NAFDAC, Shaba Mohammed, disclosed this during the raid of 24 business premises in Bida local government area of Niger. Mohammed explained that during the exercise, 2 supermarkets and 2 pharmaceutical outlets were sealed for compromising standards in their businesses. He said NAFDAC invited the affected persons to Mina for interrogation, adding that some of them would be sent to the Enforcement Directorate for further investigation, depending on the gravity of the offense committed. The director advised the public to check for the production and expiration dates of any product they purchase to enable them know whether they are healthy for consumption or not. You're watching the news update on Trust TV. Coming up shortly, we'll take a look at waste recycling as money spinner. Details of this story and more to come after the break. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
It was never a consensus. We did all our best. You see, in politics, you give your contribution to the best of your ability.
If you want, I'll forward to you this statement. You go to this bank and verify.
But there are people who say not spending money is not a virtue in itself.
Let me finish.
Because there's so much to be done.
Let me finish. Now, you don't allow me to explain myself.
The recent development shows abductions are now a factor of informants embedded in community.
It's not about the people of Katsina to say that, no, during my administration I was able to stop insecurity. No. It's about collective responsibility for all of us.
And what we should ask ourselves is not what has been seen, is the life better? Are there more people who are unemployed who are not become employed? Is the level of corruption has gone down? Is there inclusion? All those issues.
We're actually a gas country with associated oil. Our focus has always been on oil, that we have never paid significant attention to gas.
To do it effectively, we need to have honest conversation with ourselves. Government needs to come down from its high horse and communicate with the people and build trust.
There must be a solution. We cannot continue this way. They must come back to the table and agree. So whose child will do deny education? All these children that sit for jam, they want to go to higher institutions.
But just a short while ago you were saying that why bring 10 children when you cannot cater for them? So why bring more universities when you cannot cater for the existing?
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is the news update on Trust TV. And let's take a look at the recap of some of our major stories. You heard that police kill one, arrest 6 others, armed bandits in Zurmi, Gusau local government area of Zamfara state. Plus, federal government implements no work, no pay policy against striking resident doctors. Now moving on to more stories, a group of young Nigerians are collecting rubber materials for recycling to clean up the environment while making profits from the business. The recyclables include rubber bottles, jerry cans, chairs, and other rubber materials. Trust TV's Ibrahim Ismail meets the scavengers in Yola, the Adamawa state capital. Now let's take a look at the report.
This is one of the largest rubber collation centers in the Northeast. Hundreds of thousands of rubber items are being gathered and processed for recycling on a daily basis. These workers say the job is beyond making profit, describing it as a venture that gives back to the society. This is community service. This waste could have blocked waterways. We are glad that we are helping the society and the government to sanitize the environment. A lot of these waste materials have been transported. Despite discrimination from some members of the public, the scavengers remain determined in their job to put food on the table. I can't quantify the blessings of the work. I got married, bought a ride, and built a house with the proceeds. But outsiders take us like thieves or dirty people. These rubber materials are being transported to different Nigerian cities where companies recycle the materials for different purposes. Textile materials and house interlock are created from the recycled rubber bottles. And a lot of things are created from the waste. The scavengers who depend on this endeavor to survive believe that there is dignity in labor and urge Nigerian youth to be self-reliant. Ibrahim Ismail, Trust TV News.
Cleaner air and safer environment are being threatened by man's activities on Earth as triggering climate change has continued to cause havoc to the ecosystem. Stakeholders in Makurdi, Benue State capital, are worried that government is doing very little to mitigate the impact of climate change. Now, Trust TV's Jimmy Azande reports.
A closer look at the environment suggests that climate change is taking a toll on plants and animals. Not many people know that human and natural factors can help mitigate impact of climate change.
Now, adaptation is measures that you will take to adjust to the changes brought about by climate change. How many of us are aware of those changes that we can adapt? That is why there is also provision in the Act for enlightenment, education of the people, collaboration with public and private sectors. These provisions are already in the Act. And now, this law that are in place, what is the implication for the people? If you violate the provisions, what do? You can't tell people to stop cutting down trees when they cannot afford kerosene. You can't tell people to stop cutting down trees, not utilizing charcoal and firewood when the cost of gas is high. Government need to come out with drastic policy.
Some of the natural causes of climate change, according to the experts, are deforestation and poor planning by government.
Climate change is real. There's nothing we can do about it. But then there are measures that can be employed by government, again, climate change adaptation, in a manner that makes everybody to benefit from it. So it's a situation that, I mean, imagine how many lives we've lost in Benue as a result of the farmer header issues. A lot of them are preventable if government was willing to listen. It's a reality that many of our leaders have avoided. They have avoided. Some of them have refused to see climate change as an issue to take into account. We needed to bring experts to and based on the conversations, we can see how real climate change impact is in the lives of the people.
The way out is to collaborate with all stakeholders in mitigating this impact.
Climate change is a global problem, and the impact on agricultural sector is becoming very devastating. It's no longer time to fold hands. Something has to be done. And the government on their own side are doing something, especially in the area of regenerative agriculture. Something is going on with the Federal Minister of Agriculture. Something is also going on in the Ecological Organic Agriculture Initiative, Nigeria. Private sector too are key in, because there is need to drive down the advocacy on regenerative agriculture, organic agriculture.
They said much needed to be done to enlighten the people, especially the rural dwellers, on the need to protect and preserve the ecosystem. Jimmy Azandi, Trust TV News, Makurdi.
Now, away from the effect of the climate change, let's move on to business story, where the Naira on Friday appreciated against the dollar, exchanging at 743 Naira 7 kobo at the investors and exporters window. The Naira gained by 4.31% when compared with 776 Naira 50 kobo, for which it exchanged for the dollar on Thursday. The open indicative rate closed at 782 Naira 28 kobo to the dollar on Friday. A spot exchange rate of 799 Naira to the dollar was the highest rate recorded within the day's trading before it settled at 743 Naira 7 kobo. The Naira sold for as low as 475 Naira to the dollar within the day's trading. A total of 121 Naira 8 million dollars was traded at the investors and exporters window on Friday. And now to the foreign scene. Firefighters said they evacuated more than 130 people as they fought on Saturday to control a wildfire at Portbou on the Spanish border with France on the Mediterranean coast. Firefighters from Spain's northeastern region of Catalonia teamed up with French colleagues as the blaze ravaged some 435 hectares of land, with an estimated 2,500 hectares threatened. Local people were evacuated overnight from several villages as a precaution hours after the fire was declared to the south of Portbou, whose railway station connects Spain with France. Catalan Forest Rangers said on Twitter that an investigation was underway into the cause of the fire. A statement on the Catalan regional government's website added that the blaze remains active, noting that their priority was to prevent it from encroaching on the nearby tourist resort of Lanka to the south. Strong winds had helped the fire to spread overnight and prevented water-bombing planes from taking off to aid a firefighting operation complicated by the hilly terrain affected. And finally, in sports news, Aitana Bonmati netted 2 goals as Spain thrashed Switzerland 5-1 at the Women's World Cup on Saturday to clinch a quarter-final berth for the first time in their history. Additional goals from Bonmati, Redondo, Codina and Hermoso completed the route, as Bonmati, Redondo and Hermoso also have 3 goals in the tournament. The Spaniards will play the winner between the Netherlands and South Africa. Elsewhere, 2011 champions Japan continued its dominance over 1995 winners Norway with a 3-1 win in the round of 16 clash of the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup. Japan have progressed to the knockout stage for the 5th time in the Women's World Cup and for the 4th time in a row. They will face the winner between the United States of America and Sweden in the quarterfinals. And with that, we've come to the end of the news update at this hour. Do not forget to follow us across all of our social media platforms. Join our YouTube live stream for more programs, news updates, and documentary. I am Aisha Salihu. Thanks for your time.